Hey Todd, how's it going?
AJ, what's going on,
Can you
buddy?
hear
Thanks for doing
can
this.
you
Thanks
hear
for taking some time here this afternoon.
Thank you. Can you hear me all right?
Deadly, I can hear you great. Can you hear me?
I can hear you great. And might I say you have such a great voice.
Oh,
I
thank you.
was I was just listening to your interview with Rachel Cousins
Oh,
and
nice.
like, oh my God, you're not only are you obviously a great conversationalist, but like you got such a good voice for radio and podcasts. It's just yeah.
Right
And it
on.
seems like you got the EQ all dialed in and everything. Or is that
Yeah, I'm
just
good. Yeah, I
your
mean, I've
natural
been doing this
voice?
for like 30 years, so
Very cool.
I
It's so good to meet you.
I appreciate that. That's very nice of you to say. Do you know Rachel, by the way?
I don't, but I'm a big fan. I just listened to her most recent album.
It's good, right?
It's so good, and it's honestly quite aligned with. I would love to work with her in the future because it's super aligned with my music as a folk storyteller.
Yeah.
Yeah, just her attention to story, but also to humanness and richness and balancing the polish with the rawness and the honesty,
Yeah. Yeah.
is something that I just attracts me a ton with the folk music, that's always come out, but also that's res almost having a resurgence today. I think there's a big emphasis on human honesty, authenticity, in the age of AI, and we
Oh,
went through
sure.
a long time where music was so polished. And then I think people kind of, it's great and it still has a place, but then people came back to like, wow, we miss the just feeling like you're in a room with a band or with someone, just listening to that.
Yeah.
Is this working now?
Uh,
Please, please, please.
yes. Yes, it is.
I grew up in Victoria.
Oh, shit. Okay. Oh, Victoria. I did a
Yeah,
stint over in
and
Victoria in the
you're
early 2000s. I did a morning show at a station called Extreme. Do you remember those guys back in 2002?
no, I was 4 then, so
Oh, you're a little
yeah.
kid.
My parents had CBC on all the time. But
Yeah,
then as I started to grow up, I started listening to, I mean, Cool FM is like the OG top 40 station.
yeah,
Do you
yeah.
remember that?
I
107.3
do.
Cool FM. Yeah, and then The Zone is like my all-time favorite.
Well, the Zone
The
was the
Zone on
station I had
Rockaway.
to go. I was head to head battling the Zone back in the day.
Oh yeah.
That's what it was. Yeah, I was Ed
Yeah,
Bain for the big morning
I'm their
show and all that. Yeah. Or I guess he was on the
I'm
Q,
their band of
wasn't
the
he?
month.
He was the Q, Ed Baines.
The Q, yeah, and I know the Q and the Zone, they are partners stations. They're
They
both
are.
in the same
They are
in
the
the same
same.
building
Yeah.
and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Grew up in BC. I'm a West Coast boy.
Oh, that's cool. And of course, you've done a lot of shooting here in Vancouver for the acting career, right?
I shot Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency with Elijah Wood there. I shot 3 seasons of Lost in Space in Vancouver. And I shot 5 episodes of Riverdale in Vancouver, as well as a show called The Order. So yeah, probably like 60% of my acting, my screen acting has been in Hollywood North. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And well, you're now the double threat is what you are now. Like you got the acting chops,
Thank
but
you.
now you're going to dive into the music career. I want to get
Yes.
into that later on. I want to kind of maybe just start, get a lean into the acting
Well,
side
thank you.
for just a little bit. So I'm curious then,
Sure.
were you a drama nerd then in high school and stuff or?
I wouldn't have considered myself one, but I think probably everyone else would have considered me one.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I was definitely like known as like a theater kid. Like I did soccer, I did karate, and I did acting
Mm,
and music. Music's been a theme since I was a toddler. But I was always like leaving class to go to rehearsals for plays, and it was just something I was always so into, and it was never for the next thing or to do bigger things. It was never to make a career. It was always just um, this is super fun. I'm gonna do this, and then it'll probably dwindle out as I become an adult, and I'll go to university and study science, and who knows what I'll do. But I like science and math and stuff, and then it just became my career kind of just happened to me at the perfect moment. Yeah, but I never thought that it would be my. I never thought that I would get to do screen acting professionally. So
Hmm. Hmm. And so was there as
yeah,
much was it equal parts? Is this why you're kind of leaning towards the music side now as well? Like was it a music house and a TV/movies kind of thing growing up with your parents and stuff?
yeah. Well, music is my first love. Music is like what music is what I most innately do. It's like you put a toddler in a room alone and just like watch what they do, and like I would just make up songs. Like ever since I can remember, ever since like my parents say I was humming music before I could talk and drumming on stuff. Like it was just a big part of who I am at the core. And so it's always been my first love. I've written songs since I was 12. I've I put out my first uh, EP of original songs when I was uh, in 2016 with a band I made in high school of just like all the best musicians that I knew who were like my age from all the local high schools in Victoria. And we were a six-member piece called Close the Bombay Doors. And we had violin, cello, trumpet,
No
drums,
way.
bass, and guitar. And yeah, and it was all, I wrote all the songs. And uh, yeah, we were just like an indie folk group. Yeah, and so in many ways, music has it's easily been just as big of a part, if not a bigger part of my life than acting. Hmm.
Interesting. Okay. And so what were you
Hmm.
being influenced by in terms of acting and stuff? Actors, movies, TV shows and stuff as a kid? What was really kind of grabbing you?
My sister was probably my first inspiration because she's 2 years older than me, and when I was 1 years old and she was, or when I was two and she was four, my family doesn't have any history of acting, but we lived in Seattle for the first 3 years of my life, and there was an ad in the paper that they were looking to cast a half Asian, half white um, 4-year-old child to play Tam, who is the child of the two leads in the Broadway musical Miss Saigon, which is by the creators of Les Miserables. Just an epic, incredibly epic, tragic musical about the Vietnam War and about um, the love between a Vietnamese prostitute and an American soldier, and they end up having a child together, though he doesn't know for years. And my sister got. I remember they went to the open casting call because my mom and dad were like, "Oh, why not?" And there was 4-year-old kids with like two-page resumes. There was blonde girls in black wigs. There was everything, and they asked for a resume. My mom was like, "Oh, she hasn't done anything," and asked for a headshot. And my mom was like, "Oh, I we didn't bring one," and she gave them the little photo of my sister from her wallet. And she ended up getting cast, and my family toured around the U.S. and Canada for it was either 3 or 6 months on the national Broadway tour of Miss Saigon. And I don't remember any of that, but
Yeah.
apparently my sister's name is Amisha, and my parents brought me out during a curtain call one day, and apparently my first sentence was Misha bowing, people clapping. And so then when my sister was like 11 or 12 and I was 9, she wanted to get back into acting. We were in Victoria, so she started doing Kaleidoscope Theater, which is the local professional like family theater company. And I remember seeing Aladdin when I was like 10 and being like, "Oh, this would be so cool to do." And then my parents were like, "You should audition for the next one." And then I auditioned for my first play when I was 11, and then I just ended up doing like 1 to 2 plays. I think I ended up doing like 14 or 15 plays
Wow.
between the age of 11 and 18. Um, and yeah, I just loved it. And it ended up giving me all the foundation and training that I ended up needing in order to I think, to be able to get cast on screen and stuff like that. But that was never the goal or anything. It was just always fun. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
And it
cool.
still
And
is.
of course, it's still stuck with you
Yeah.
till today. Like you're still just as driven as you ever have been to do acting, right?
Yeah, and I I think that drive just comes from it's just so fun. I love to perform and I love to ground into emotional states and let the emotion flow from me. And so in a big way, acting and music, they inform each other in that sense.
Yeah, that's cool. And so tell us about your new project, American Classic.
Yes.
This is
American
exciting. Holy man, what talk about some powerhouse actors.
I know it's incredible. We have Oscar winner Kevin Kline, Emmy nominee, and potentially Oscar nominee as well, Laura Linney, the
Mm,
legendary Laura Linney from Ozark and The Truman Show, and we have just so many amazing people on it, and I was just so honored to be able to join that cast. I play Laura Linney's daughter's boyfriend, who's also a singer-songwriter,
mm.
and so I got to bring in so much of my musical side to the role, which is not the first time that that's happened on screen. I also sang Lost in Space, which I was a recurring character, or I was a series regular on for all three seasons. In the third season, they asked me to play like an acoustic, almost lullaby folk cover of Bob Marley's Three Little Birds as my character on screen. Um, and so it's funny that music keeps on coming up in the acting, and I love it. Um, and I forget what your question was.
Just talking about how awesome it is to be part of a good,
American Classic, yes.
cool
So
movie like
so
American
for those
Classic.
who are for those who are listening, American Classic it premieres or it premiered, I guess, by the time you're listening to this, probably March 1st on MGM Plus, the legendary studio MGM. My friend was like, the casino company, um,
You're like, no,
and
come on,
yeah,
stay with me.
and yeah. So, but the same as the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. But MGM is, you'll know it from the lion that roars at the beginning of the movies.
Yeah,
Metro Golden Mayer. And so MGM Plus have launched their own streaming service, which is accessible through Amazon. And this is a heartfelt family comedy drama about just complicated family dynamics and the messiness that comes with art and ambition and unresolved family history. Um, yeah, and it's at its heart, it's about what happens when someone chooses fame over staying true to their roots at home, and then coming home and having to face all that stuff that they left behind. Um, and that's Kevin Kline, and he was absolutely brilliant on and off screen.
such a good actor.
Yeah.
Holy crap. And,
Yes,
and so
for
how do
real.
you nail that job? How do you get the role? Like, what are the steps to getting it?
Yeah, well, I'm right now. You're probably wondering where the hell I am if you
I
can
am.
see this. This is
I am.
my this is a yurt. This is where I live. It's kind of like Hagrid's hut. I live here in a small mountain town in Arizona, 1 mile elevation. It snows here. It literally snowed last week. I had to dig my car out so my girlfriend could drive me to the Phoenix airport so that I could go to New York for the premiere of American Classic. And then I got back here, and now it's like 25 degrees Celsius. So I don't know what's going on. I mean, we all do. It's
Yeah,
climate change.
yeah.
But yeah, it's just how did I get this role? I auditioned with a self tape right here in the yurt. I throw a bed sheet up behind me. I have lights, film with my iPhone. My girlfriend was off screen reading um, the role of Miranda, who is my girlfriend in the show. And I think my comfortableness and love that I share with my girlfriend, I think really helped me book the role because my character is supposed to be just head over heels for this girl and would do anything for her. And they're really comfortable together. And so, yeah, I filmed that, and then they wanted me to go to New York for chemistry reads, which is, if you don't know, it's kind of what it sounds like. They test chemistry between different actors. And so I went to New York City. There was six Randalls, which is my character, and five Mirandas, and it was the most fun audition process I've ever had. They had us all just waiting in this waiting room, and then they would just call us in two at a time, and then we got into the room, and they didn't even have us read the scene that we prepared. They were just like, all right, this is what's happened later in the story. Your character has done this. This has happened. She got into this school, but she doesn't want to tell her mom, etc. I can't say any more about the
Yeah,
plot,
you're
but
like, oh, yeah, like all
yeah,
the.
basically like all this stuff has happened, and you did this, and you didn't tell her that you did this, but she knows. You don't know she knows, and now she's going to confront you about it.
Okay.
Go. And
Wow.
we just improvised, and one of the with every single one of the women that I read with, the scene went completely different. The energy was different. The dynamic was different. Sometimes
Wow. Did you
we
get
like
to read with all five?
I read with three of them. I
Okay.
don't know how they are deciding, but there was like seven people in the room, like seven casting and director and Bernard Telsey, who is the head of the casting agency, and they cast like Hamilton and Wicked and all the top Broadway shows. And it was just so much fun, and it was so amazing to improvise. And that's, I think, when you really see like people's souls and people's hearts come out. And then I
Oh,
ended
talk
up,
about a pressure cooker having
yeah,
those people in the room, though.
it was. And honestly, the biggest thing I did was I just tried to make sure I was as grounded as possible and as present as possible. So I meditated a ton that day.
Hmm.
In the waiting room, I would just be like, we were having great conversations and stuff, and we all kind of became friends back there. But I was also just like meditating a lot, breathing a lot, trying to just, yeah, just be as present as and grounded as possible so that I could show my most true, comfortable, relaxed, confident self. And then I ended
Awesome.
up getting the role last year on my birthday. So
Oh, nice.
yeah,
Great birthday present.
yeah,
Great birthday present.
yeah.
So you make stuff for us to watch and binge and stuff. When you find time, what are you binge watching now?
Oh my God. White Lotus.
Yeah.
I just think it's such a brilliant show, and it was really cool because I got to on Lost in Space. I got to act with Parker Posey for 3 years, and she is in the most recent season of White Lotus, um, and so that was really exciting. But I love White Lotus. My favorite show of all time is How I Met Your Mother, um, which I just like watched a lot in high school. Um, yeah, those are my two of my favorite shows.
Just can never get enough of both, I suppose, too, right? Like
Yeah.
somehow there's shows that are comfort shows, you can watch them over and over and over again.
How I Met Your Mother, and I'm so familiar with it now that I can just go to a random episode in any of the nine seasons and watch it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. So acting and making music are two very creative paths.
Yes.
So talk to us about your musical life then. And so the debut album is coming out soon.
Yes. March 13th.
And what's
Friday.
the name of the band again?
So I released music under the name Bluejay Friese. Bluejay, one word, like the bird.
Right.
And I act under the name Ajay Friese. And yeah, I'm a folk storyteller. I'm a folk singer-songwriter. The album is heavily Americana, folk, and country influenced, and all songs that I wrote. Um, and the album is called Postcards. I never worked harder on anything in my life. I've been working on it for the last 2 years, and I honestly feel so satisfied with every single song on the record. So that's a great feeling. Um, yeah, and it's my debut album. Comes out on March 13th.
We touched a little bit on the music side here minutes back, but like what were you hearing in the house as a kid?
I was listening to I grew up with like a lot of like Nelly Furtado in Simple Plan, um, and um, Jack Johnson. Those are the people that come to mind initially. Oh, and huge. I grew up as a huge City and Color fan.
Yes.
Yes, and I think that's probably that's an artist that definitely inspired a lot of my original music, as well as Death Cab for Cutie.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Hmm.
And so do you get the same fulfillment doing music as you do acting or more or
It's interesting because they're in a lot of ways they're so different because with acting acting's not really me, like I'm not being me, whereas with music I'm being 100% me, and I'm just so it can just come from a much more effortless place, I think. And acting actually requires a different approach to playing somebody else and a lot more prep, um, because I don't know, like other actors aren't this way, but or some others aren't this way, but like when I get an audition for the first time or something, like my first read is not going to be good. It's not going to sound natural. It's not going to be good acting. Like seriously. And um, I've learned over time that really what fixes that is just the more and more and more you know about who your character is, why they are the way they are, what they want in the scene, what's going on in the story. Then you can just sit back and you read the lines, and subconsciously they're informed from so much more information that it's so much easier for it to come across not only naturally but aligned with what the story is asking for. And so
Mhm.
really there's just a lot of prep with acting, whereas with music a lot of the prep is just what I already know inside of me,
Right.
as
And
well
how
as
do I
having
get it
written the
out?
songs and gone through
You
all
know.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And with music I can just let it flow, and with acting I can let it flow once I understand the character. Yeah.
Yeah. And so how did acting, I don't know how to word this, but like how did acting help your musical ambitions? Like did you take anything from acting and kind of parlay it over to music?
Um, In many ways, no, because I already had an approach to music, an approach to writing and performing music that was already established. Um, I mean, long before I was on screen, I was doing a lot of theater. It's interesting to think about. But acting has helped in the sense of the importance of grounding and becoming emotionally present. And to me, both of them are about honesty, and it's not really about. I mean, we practice so we can get the technical stuff down, but then when we're performing, it's just about being honest. And in order to be honest, you need to be grounded and calm. And I think the pressure of like, oh, acting like I'm not sure, I don't feel as well equipped or as natural at this as music. It forced me to like go more to those approaches of grounding and stuff like that. And now I've brought that into my music as well, and I think that helps me greatly. Um, yeah, and then acting is just, I mean, it makes sense, but it's been so incredible for the exposure, um, not only exposing myself to people through my roles, but also through the times where I've been asked to share my music on screen. Um, so it's amazing to get the opportunity to have that sort of quote unquote promotion. Um, yeah, but I think yeah, just grounding into art and honesty, both of them, I'm always, as I practice that more and more and more, both of them continue to benefit from that.
Mhm. And how about the live performance of the music? Like, does acting help in that regard at all?
I, I,
Because you are kind of putting a persona certainly on for live performance.
yeah, I think it's, It's interesting because like the confidence from acting, you're I mean, there's lots of actors who can be totally confident while they're acting, and then in interviews and stuff, when they're to be themselves, confidence struggles. And um, with music, I'm trying most to be myself, and with acting, I'm trying to be a character. And so, in some senses, the confidence is in two very different lanes.
Mhm.
Um,
Interesting.
yeah,
Yeah. And what was your first concert you went to?
my first concert was, oh come on, I totally know this. My I my a super influential. I saw Simple Plan when I was 8 years old in Montreal, and
Okay.
like my mom and I both loved them, and we bought the CD afterwards, and like it was so cool. And then, but a big influence, and when I started writing music was like the 2010, I think, Rifflandia festival in Victoria, and I
Okay.
saw artists like Cake and City and Color, and it was just so inspiring. And I was like, wow, I want to write music. And then a few months later, I was just suddenly writing all these songs.
That's awesome. By the
Yeah.
way, I've talked to both Chuck and Pierre from Simple Plan, so dig around in my page, you'll find it.
Hell yeah, it
Good,
is.
good dudes, really good guys.
Yes, it's amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're
yeah,
from Montreal, right?
they are. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
cool.
Okay, Ajay, let's get outside of acting and music and kind of what you're known for. I'm curious, and I know I don't have you for much longer, but I'll respect your time. I'll try to wrap it up fairly quickly here.
Thank you.
Um, did you care about the Olympics? Did you watch any of that stuff over the last week and a half, 2 weeks? Are you a
You
sports guy?
know, I I mean, I grew up playing a lot of soccer. I've never followed any professional sports leagues. But growing up in the age of cable TV, we would always have the FIFA World Cup on or the Olympics on. And the neighborhood would get together. We'd go over to people's basements, and I'm pretty sure I was watching when Usain Bolt set the world record, and then
Yeah.
when he said it again, and Cindy Klassen with speed skating in Canada, and like all these memories from when I was a child. And then we ditched cable and the streaming services came, and then suddenly it was like I'm not watching these things anymore, and I think that's a real bummer. And I haven't really got back on it like since then, though I would really love to. I did watch the FIFA World Cup back in 2022. That was amazing. Or maybe it was 2023 because they like moved it a year or something. I don't remember,
Yeah,
but
that feels
yeah,
right.
I
It
watched
feels
that a
good.
lot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
but
so,
I
like, are you a gamer? Will you also FIFA game it up or what?
no, I my parents did not really allow video games,
Really?
and so I didn't
Oh,
play
shoot.
any. I have never, and this is a great never have I ever. I have never played Minecraft in my life.
What? You're the generation.
I know, and all my friends are like, "What?" Um,
Insane.
Yeah, not that I have anything against it. I think it's awesome. And I've played a few video games and I love them. My favorite video game that I've ever played is the horror storytelling video game Until Dawn.
Oh, yes.
Yes. And it's just awesome. All the acting is done by a real cast with motion tracking on their body and faces, and it's like a choose your own adventure game. And it's formulated in such a way that like it's like watching a TV show. Both times I've played it, I haven't even been holding the controller. We're just in a room together and we're all just watching like these scenes go down and stuff. And then sometimes you get a decision like go left or right or something, and then like we're all like left or like right or like stuff, and then the person with the controller just presses it, and I don't even know how to use the controller, so I'm glad I'm not that person. But I like storytelling and plot driven kind of video games. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, big time, big time. And how cool would that be to be part of that too? Like getting a role of one
Absolutely.
of the people in that. Like, it's the same sort of thing. It's not that far off of a
It
movie.
would be it would be so cool, and I've only done I think two auditions for video games, and I would love to be part of a video game like that. My co-star opposite me in Lost in Space, Mina Sunwall, was a large character in Ragnarok, God of War.
Oh, no way.
Yes, she played Thrud. I'm so
That's
sorry if that's totally not the name of the character. Uh,
awesome.
Ginger hair. Yeah, and so it just sounds like the coolest experience.
Yeah, big time.
Hmm.
Um, it's a weird question. I just like to ask because if most people have them. I want you to share a near-death story with us where you're like, holy shit, I could have just died.
Yes. The most scared I've ever been in my life was when I was in grade eight and we were on a camping trip into Fino with my school,
Okay.
and um, we're like, I'm playing guitar around the campfire as we did every night, and we're all singing songs. And then that one night, the counselors were like, just want to let you know, there's a man who kind of used to be a bit violent, who used to stay in this campsite a few years ago, and then he kind of disappeared. But some people have been saying they've seen him around here recently, and one person said that they might have seen him with a knife. And so, if you go to the bathroom, just go with a buddy. And if you're like in a group in a tent of three, just everyone go. Don't leave anyone alone. And so we're all like all these grade eights, and we're like, oh yeah, okay, okay. So then I'm in the tent with my friends Jonas and Mayrab, and it's the three of us, and like we're like, oh my god, this is so scary stuff. And then Mayrab's like, okay, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. And Jonas and I are like, okay, sweet, let's go. And Mayrab's like, no, guys, like, I don't need a. It's across the street. I don't need anyone to come with me. We're like, no, did you hear the counselors? Like, we're going with you. And so we argue about this for like 2 minutes, and Mayrab is just super adamant about going alone. So finally, he just like leaves and like insists he goes alone. And so Jonas and I just look at each other. We're like, oh my god, what the heck? And so we're just waiting there for like a minute in silence. And then from the other side of the tent, we hear these footsteps coming up the stairs from the beach, and they're like these footsteps, and we see this like light of like this old school like not like warm tone flashlight kind of like brushing against the tent, and like the stumbling thing, and we just hear this voice, and it's like, these kids, what are these kids doing in my old campsite? And we're just like frozen, and we hear the people in the other tent just like go still, and like, and Jonas and I are just looking each other in the eyes, and we're like, Mayrab. And then we hear from across the street, we hear like, ah, da, 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 Mayrab coming. And then
No.
we hear the person outside the tent go like, huh? And we like see the flashlight from that was against the tent like whip up. And then we hear Mayrab go like, what? No, no, Jonas, Jonas. And Jonas and I are like, like Mr. Danskin, Mr. Danskin to the counselor, and we hear like the girls like screaming like, and like the people in the tent next to us like, and we're like, it's just like terror in my heart for like 7 seconds, and we hear like Mayrab booking it down the path, and then we start to hear laughter,
Well, that has to be a
and
plan. Come
it
on.
turns out it was a prank orchestrated by Mayrab,
No.
and the man coming up the stairs was Mr. Danskin, our counselor. And I, I'm honestly really grateful for it now because I wasn't in any real danger, and it kind of like showed me what how I might respond at that time in my life to what I thought was a near death experience. But I remember saying like, I'm glad you guys like said we weren't allowed knives, because if I had a knife when I was in the tent and someone said like, you would have tried to kill him, and I said I would have tried to kill myself, and they were like, whoa. And so I was like 12 years old at the time.
I think what you could safely say with that story is you can't trust anybody.
In a way, yes, but yeah, they didn't have any bad intentions, so it was a prank.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, by the way, I just noticed you have had a guitar there. I wonder, and this is
Yeah,
certainly off script, but I wonder if you would play something for us.
yeah, I would love to. This is my Martin D28. This is being lent to me by Martin and Company, uh, which is insane because I never ever thought that they would lend me a guitar. Um,
Right.
so yeah, this I've gotten to play this D28, which is one of the most classic acoustic guitars in world history, and it's made my playing a lot better actually because it just sounds so crisp and has so much information to give that like everything I play has just become increasingly more and more intentional. Um, so I'm not sure how the is this thing still
Yep.
yeah, yeah, okay.
So is this something that's off the debut from Bluejay Friese?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't thought about what I'm gonna play yet, but yeah, I would love to play. Do you want a whole song or a snippet of a song? I
Uh,
can do either.
well, yeah, let's do a whole song.
Okay.
I love that you're doing this for us, by the way, Ajay.
Yeah, this is a song about not being ready to say goodbye to something that's leaving you, whether you like it or not. And this is called Dripping Away. This is going to be on my debut album. It's unreleased. My debut album is called Postcards. My name is Bluejay Friese, and it's out March 13th everywhere. Always got love on my brain. I can't contain how hard I fall. You're like summertime, moonbeams on the sidewalk. But this love is dripping away, and goddamn, I feel ashamed, 'cause I want it all. Those summer nights, our talks and getting sidetracked, but this love is so lonely, it has no anchor without you. It's drifting so far from the love I thought we knew. Is it over? Has it had its run? And just 1 second, just checking that I got the original sound on for musicians. I do. Oh, come on over before it's gone. Don't say goodbye. I'm alone tonight. My love's all systems go, but you're a no-show. Don't pass us by on your way through life. Come on, little turtle, keep up, maybe we can last just one more day. But you're already on your way. Yeah. When we've been here before, green tea, apologies, and then of course sex hotter than our bare feet on the asphalt. And the love keeps growing, hearts keep glowing. Look how we can get going again, baby. We find a way, but maybe that has changed lately, 'cause this love is so lonely, it has no anchor without you. It's drifting so far from the love I thought we knew. And don't say goodbye, I'm alone tonight. My love's all systems go, but you're a no-show. Where'd you go, babe? Don't pass us by on your way through life. Come on, little turtle, keep up, maybe we can last just one more day. But you're already on your way. On your way. You're so right, I'm so wrong. I'll be here writing my songs. Hey, Blue Jay, sing the rain. You know damn well it's too late. Don't say goodbye. I'm alone tonight, and my love's all systems go. But you're a no-show, where'd you go, babe? Don't pass us by on your way through life. Come on, little turtle, keep up, maybe we can last just one more day. But you're already on your way. Yeah, thank you.
A concert for one with Bluejay
Thank you so much,
Friese.
Todd.
You
That
heard it
song is
here.
called "Dripping Away," and that's going to be on the album Postcards, which is out
Dude,
March
that's
13th.
outstanding, man. You have a great
Thank you.
voice.
Thank you.
Be able to
Appreciate that a
wrap it
lot.
up with me saying, you've got the great voice. You're like, oh, you got a great voice, radio podcasting, blah,
Oh,
blah.
doesn't Todd just have the most incredible podcast voice? It's so nice to listen to. Seriously.
Yeah, thank you, man. That's really nice of
Thank
you to
you
say.
very much. Thank you for
I do
asking
want
me
to
to
wrap
do
it up
that.
with something that could be the toughest question that I ask you this afternoon.
Please.
Can you pick one career highlight? Is it possible to pick one thing?
I think the biggest highlight was happened in the last few years. It was finding my sound and making the choice of who I want to be as an artist. Just like everyone, I listen to so many genres of music. I love to write. I like to make so many. I love to write, pop and R&B and uh, jazz and rap and everything. And I realized that what I do most truly from my heart is the music that I was writing when I was like 13 years old with a guitar in my room, never for never to be released or anything. And I'm just a folk storyteller. And once I decided, yeah, that's my calling, that's my purpose, that's how I'm going to share my voice, that was incredibly empowering to be like, no, this is what I'm doing, and I've decided that. And yeah, I want to eventually become one of the great folk storytellers of the world. And it just is so exciting to just decide that that's the purpose that I want to continue to realize.
Taking that first step. It's a
Yeah,
big one.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Well, congrats on the debut. It's out when again? It's on April
March
or
13th.
March 13th. Oh, so
March
it's soon.
13th.
You're only a
Friday
couple
the
weeks
13th.
away.
Yep, Friday the 13th. I just finished cover art. Right here. I'll show it to you.
Nice.
That is my cover art.
Outstanding.
And it's gonna have your face right there in the reflection,
Of
not
course,
my
yes, of
face.
course it will. Why wouldn't it?
And, yeah, March 13th, Bluejay Friese on all streaming services. It's called Postcards, and 5 singles are already out from the album right
Oh
now.
wow. By the way, if you need anybody to voice your promo, just let me know and
Dude,
I'll take a
yeah,
role for you, buddy.
yeah, I
Yeah,
would love that. That'd be
yeah.
sweet. That'd be so
Awesome.
sick. Thank you,
Ajay,
Todd.
thank you, man, for taking some time here to join us. Where are you most active? Like, where should people follow you first?
Follow, check out my music on any streaming service under the name Bluejay. That's Bluejay like the bird, but all one word, and then
Yep.
Friese, Friese, Bluejay Friese, and you can find me on Instagram. Currently, it's at Friendly Brown Kid, which I made when I was in grade 11, and
Yes.
I love it. But we are in the works of changing it, probably to at Bluejay Friese. So just
At
search.
Bluejay Freeze
Yeah,
69 420.
exactly. That's what we're gonna get if
Yeah.
all the way up to 68 is taken.
Take
Um,
it. Exactly.
yeah, either try at Friendly Brown Kid, and if
Okay.
that doesn't work by the time you're listening to this, try Bluejay Freeze on Instagram, and that's where I'm incredibly active. Yes,
Dude, thank
thank
you
you,
for
thank you.
taking the time.
I really love talking to you. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll tag you when we're throwing this around, and look forward to hearing
Yeah,
the record.
where can I find you on Instagram?
All, all Toddcast podcast.